My Son Goes Trick-or-Treating, written by Recludus. Ansel was always different from all the other little kids. He was always the kid in elementary school that drew concerning pictures during art time. While other kids would draw pictures of houses and flowers, he'd draw pictures of his fellow students being stabbed. The psychiatrists diagnosed him as a mild psychopath with occasional violent tendencies. Parents at the school spoke up, and I ended up withdrawing him and homeschooling him myself. I could understand the other parents' hesitancies, but Ansel wasn't a bad kid. At home, he's always trying to help me in one way or another. He's inquisitive and cheerful most of the time. Even his violent tantrums were no worse than that of any other kids. With therapy sessions, he learned to behave better, and I even considered sending him back to school. This Halloween though, Ansel asked me for something special. He wanted to try trick-or-treating by himself. Normally I took him every year, but after some serious begging on his part, I finally gave in. I couldn't baby him forever. Ansel was growing up, and he had to learn to be independent at some point. I watched him put on his costume, a cute grizzly bear, and watched him shuffle his way out the door, large jack-o'-lantern in hand, ready to bring home the goodies. I smiled and waved. Ansel waved back, but as soon as he was out of sight, I started getting worried. What if he hurt someone else in a tantrum? What if he needs me right now? My teeth scratched on my nails as I tried to switch my focus between the TV and dishing out candy to the other children who relentlessly rang the doorbell. The night was busy, and I was too generous. Barely an hour in, the candy jar was empty. Left to just my thoughts, I grew more and more anxious. Maybe I shouldn't have let Ansel go out. Maybe it was too soon. Clearly, I worried too much. Before the clock even struck 9, Ansel was walking right up to our front door, lugging along his jack-o'-lantern. "Hey, Mom, I brought in a huge haul tonight." I smiled. My boy was fine. No one had hurt him, and he didn't hurt anyone either. I breathed a sigh of relief. "Well, come on in then." Just then, I noticed the dark figure following Ansel up the sidewalk. I slammed the door. In the calmest voice I could muster so I wouldn't scare Ansel, I looked out the window as I talked to my son. "Ansy, could you give me a hand and fill up the candy jar? I ran out." "Sure, Mom." He overturned his jack-o'-lantern, and I watched as a turn of hands and fingers flooded out, cut off by a bear trap he had hidden inside. Do you think they appreciated the trick? The dark figure knocked on the door. "Miss Callahan, it's the police. We need to speak to you about your son."